Here's the 0-1. This is going to be a tough play. Bryant, the Cubs win the World Series. Bryant makes the play. It's over. And the Cubs have finally won it all. 8-7-10.
Welcome to Club 120. The ultimate roundtable for diehard Cubs fans and lovers of all things sports and lifestyle.
Strike three, you're out.
Hosted by Neil and Nate, two former baseball players and coaches turned loud mouths with strong opinions and even stronger banner. Get ready for quick-hitting, time-answer segments packed with wit, laughs, and the occasional heated debate. From analyzing Cubs on-field action to diving into off-field drama, no topic is off limits. So grab your glove, pour a drink, and pull up a seat at Club 120, where the banner's quick, the takes are hot, and the Cubs always come first. Let's get started.
Play ball.
Hello, Cubs friends. It's 120. You know what that means. Time to grab an old style and a bleacher seat. You're in Club 120. Let's talk Cubs. I'm Nate, and with me as always is a man who has a line for every umpire that gets him right in the spot. Neil, what's on today's lineup card, Coach?
Let's not dive into umpires. I don't know why they all hate the Cubs. I mean, that's just me sitting here. I don't understand.
Hey, the Cubs got a couple of check swings on Wednesday. They got a couple of check swing calls go their way.
I'm telling you, it's a whole thing, and I'm not ready to go there.
For another day. Let's see if they bring that same energy to Pittsburgh, you know?
Yeah. Okay. So, hey, mate, big show today. Thanks for spending some of your time with us. As always, we appreciate you, our listener, our viewer. Thanks for spending time with us. We're going to wrap up the road trip on this episode. We're going to talk about some of our bullpen bullies. The All-Star game, All-Star voting has started this week. Matt Shaw is looking red hot on the hot corner. And we're going to get into a little bit of an arms race before we dive into our topic of the week, which is a division knockout. So let's jump right into the road trip wrap-up, which wrapped up today. Obviously not the way we would like to have seen it wrapped up. Yeah. But here we are again, in my opinion. I know we have talked about this. We, as in you and I, have talked about this ad nauseum. The Sunday lineup or the close out the series lineup. It's like, if I just don't understand. We don't. Michael Busch is not in the lineup, and I get it. You want to get PCA some rest, but a big series win on the line here. Is this really the day to get him rest? In my opinion, we started strong against Washington, took care of business. Detroit was messy, umpire drama. The bats cooled off, stayed cool in Philly. But, man, what an atmosphere, playoff-level atmosphere, great pitching in Philly. So what's your overall grade for the road trip? You know, did this road trip prove to you that the Cubs are contenders, or did it show you what still needs to be fixed?
It's a good question. Because it kind of comes down to what's the difference between 5-4 and 4-5 on a road trip. You're playing two playoff contenders of the three series that you get, which you lose. You're expected to beat the Nats, which they did. Got up against Mackenzie Gore in the one loss, which, kid's good. You go toe-to-toe with Scooble. We got shoved on Sunday by Flaherty. But to me, I think give me another series with Detroit. I'm interested in that. Philly, man, I tell you what, they're just they kind of pushed us around a little bit, and I didn't like the way that felt this weekend. I didn't like the way it felt a couple weeks ago when they were at our place. And today, obviously, with a little bit of a white flag lineup is weird to say, because is PCA the difference between a 5-4 and a 4-5 road trip? I don't think so. Luzardo was dealing today. So I think we are contenders for the National League Central. Do I think that we're contenders for the pennant yet? No. We've got several issues that are there. Frustrating road trip, but in the end, We learned a lot. We definitely learned a lot. And there's definitely some things here with about 6 weeks to go before the trade deadline that, we're going to have plenty to talk about here over the next month or so.
No, yeah, and I totally agree. I agree also with you about PCA not being in the lineup. I just thought not having him and Michael Busch in the lineup,
Well, we should be used to that by now. Michael Busch is never in the lineup.
well, yeah, but I did just think it was one of those deals where it was like, as soon as the lineup card came out, it just felt like it was like, oh, here we go. Like usually it's like the third or fourth inning when we're getting shut out when I feel like, oh, here we go. But it was today. It was like,
10 a.m.
11 a.m. when the lineup card went out. And I was like, oh boy. But anyway,
it's a frustrating finish. You definitely want to leave there in a better note, but I would rather have PCA for 4 games at home as a fan. As a paying customer, that's my home team. I want my best team out there when I'm there and there. So I think that was probably the best way to look at it with 7 games coming up against division foes in a row. So, I think we got PCA for the next week or so before we start looking at, how he's going to rest for the summer. But that was a long time without having a day off for them, which had, they've been getting 1 to almost 2 a week at times. So,
yeah. All right. Talk to me about the bullpen, man. Next topic is bullpen bullies. Man, they've really looked good here of late.
Absolutely. And Jed spent a little time on it today. It's been great. And I think this is the mentality, and Jed hit on it. So I'll start there because this was a late note after watching Jed's interview today before they got out of town. Jed said about Keller, and I think this is true about the rest of these guys because they all kind of fit this. They were starters, so their mentality is to fill up the zone, and so they just want to put that fastball right through the heart of it, and you got to hit it. Now in relief, they have the same approach, but now they're throwing 3 to 4 mile an hour harder with pitch lab and everything else. Seeing a little bit extra depth and run on their stuff. Man, they are bullies because they really do. Those guys, Pomeranz, Keller, Flexen, it's a fastball, and you're going to have to hit it. And the rest of it's good too, but you're going to have to, if you want to get them, you're going to have to hit their best fastball. And the scouting report says it's 91 to 94. It's not anymore. It's 94 to 96 plus. So that's there. I love our lefty weapons. We didn't use it great this weekend against Philly. I thought Pomeranz probably should have started today against Ben, but then again, after his wonderful outing in Detroit, you would think, maybe he's turned the corner, maybe not yet. So I love Thielbar coming out anytime we need something right there in the 5th, 6th, 7th. So that's there, but Keller and Palencia at the back end right now, really as stoppers and closers, whatever you want to go. The only question that I have about bullies right now, and those bullies coming out, is one that's been getting some leverage spots. Do you trust Ryan Presley yet? Is he a bully in this bullpen for you?
Oh man, it comes down to me. I am still shaky on 2 guys and 2 guys only, really.
Okay.
Presley and Cabrera. I don't. He gave up a home run today. He gave up a fly ball that left the yard. I don't know why. To me, Presley's outs aren't swing and miss outs yet. Like they're just, they're hard contact that happens to just, finding gloves right now. So my trust is not there completely yet. I would say between the 2, I trust Cabrera a little bit more than Ryan Presley. Mm-hmm. But I got some quick soundbite questions for you. We got like 1 minute left on this segment, and I'm just gonna throw them at you, give you a softball, and you take them from here. All right. So the bullpen obviously went from being a liability to a weapon, and it might honestly be the backbone of the team right now. What has changed in your mind from the shaky early version of this bullpen?
Well, I think they've limited their leverage spots to where, it seems like the first time we ever got in some trouble was, in some of those games early on was this building pressure. And they've done such a better job of relieving pressure and passing the buck, in my opinion. When the starter comes out, they come in and they look at it and now as a team thing. The whole pitching staff is, and they're doing much better. They're picking up, they're throwing zeros. They know their job. I think early on, there's a lot of guys. You think about the Presley coming in and, he was here to be the closer. He's in a different role now. Brad Keller had no idea he was even going to make this roster in March. He's now, potentially an all-star for this team in the first half. I mean, wow. Pomeranz was on another organization playing AAA ball. There's a lot of unrest and unsureness of what's going on with the Cubs bullpen in this first half. And yet, as they've grown, even through a couple of injuries with Porter Hodge going down, guys have stepped up. So I'd say they just stepped up and they just settled in. There was a lot of those guys. Remember, some of those guys were still in pitch lab in March.
So do you feel like Craig Counsell then has found the formula?
I think it's getting better at it. I think there's still a few moments where you're like, why would we, like Drew Pomeranz today? There's no need. I would like to see him very much in play in Pittsburgh all week, not down 5 runs. So he leaves questions, but there's never not going to be questions whenever you're playing this many games, right?
Yeah. Okay. Moving on to the All-Star game and the All-Star votes. The All-Star voting is open. Do you care? Do Cubs fans care? Do you actually vote when it's time to vote? You can vote 3 times a day. Do you log on 3 times a day and vote?
Right.
What are your thoughts here with the All-Star game and All-Star voting?
Man, as a kid, it was magical, right? But now I just want us to get through that nice week rested. We have bigger things than to showcase our best players. It's a nice feather in some kids' caps. It's a nice bonus for them. Probably some of them have some contractual arrangements to benefit from. But honestly, Neil, I don't care about the All-Star game, period. But I will talk about it because it's worth talking about, because there are some players that that need to have more national discussion, and the All-Star game does give you some opportunities to talk about that. Here's the one bright side that I'll have right here before I throw one back to you. Okay. The bright side is, Neil, we won't have to worry about a starting pitcher messing up his routine to get the second half of the season opened up, because none of our starters are going to be there. Now, my question is this: who should be getting more love? We understand PCA is going to be getting some love. Tucker's going to be getting his flowers. Who on this Cubs roster really deserves to be talked about? Give me one pitcher and one hitter that you really think should get better, more flowers right now.
Well, I'm going to take some flowers away from you, honestly.
Okay.
Is Kyle Tucker an all-star?
I mean, look, he's still top 10 in all the WAR categories and all the things that everybody gets so whatever about. So until he's not in that conversation, he's mildly effective. Even when he's not effective, he still runs a couple bags out. He still gets a triple down the line when he's 1 for 4. There's definitely Kyle Tucker brings some attributes. Yes, he's going to be an all-star.
Okay. All right. Okay. I can't wait to talk about that later.
Hey, good. So who would be one guy? Who's one guy that we should be keeping our eye on right now? That
that's unquestionable.
If you're going to pound that vote button, who are you really pounding besides PCA and Tucker?
No, that's exactly what I put on the list. I said my legit cases were Imanaga before the IL. PCA to me is a non-negotiable. Like, if PCA is not starting in the All-Star game, then the whole thing's a joke. I'm not kidding. Like,
yeah.
The only reason I care about the All-Star game is home field advantage in the World Series. That is the only thing I care about with the All-Star game. And
didn't they change that? I feel like they changed.
I don't know. Maybe they have, but I thought that's what it was.
We might need to
whoever won the All-Star game.
One of you folks.
If that's not, I'll be honest with you. If that doesn't matter anymore,
right,
then no, I don't care about the All-Star game. Sure. And when I'm here we go again. We're gonna have this whole. I got murdered online for being against the Tokyo saga.
Sure.
And the travel and all of the nightmare that came. And then we're going to come back and play pretend games again. And I got murdered for not wanting the team to be selected for this Tokyo stuff. I get it. Wrigley Field is a federal landmark and we should show it off. It's great. But I like the All-Star break in that you get 90% of your roster off their feet for 3 days, 4 days. And now next year we're going to host it. So I bet our roster's more involved next year.
Sure.
So we have a year away to get hammered on that one. But I don't think I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it being hosted at Wrigley, but just because I like the break for our guys.
Yeah.
But again, we need to look into the home field advantage, because as far as I'm concerned, do all-star nods still matter? To me, it's like you said, if it's a personal level for guys who get a bonus or get bonused out, I'm all for it. Go chase it. But as far as me, I probably won't even watch it. Like if I'm being honest,
It's been a tough week to watch lately. With a lot of different things going on. But yes, I'm just glad that, in my opinion, we will have something to talk about, because there is a chance PCA doesn't get the starting nod in center or one of the top 3 vote getters. That's a real thing, and that's crazy to think about. And the rest of it is, up in the air as far as our guys. And it's just something for us to really have fun and talk about right now. And
so if you vote,
yeah,
if you vote for the All-Star game, if you logged in today and voted, which I'm sure you did, do you vote with your heart or do you vote with stats? And second part of the question, if you only get 2 Cubs, who are your 2?
Yeah. Oof, okay, that's a really good question. I will vote some with my heart, because I feel like there are some guys that I would just love to put that by proxy vote in on for some guys, right? I don't just sit there and pound the ballot box like some of these people do. I think that's just silly business. If I only get 2 votes, it's going to be PCA. And
go ahead. You can say Kyle Tucker. It's fine.
I mean, it's the easiest one, and it's the easy. It keeps the most away from it. You know what I would really like to do, and maybe we can talk, more about this. But I feel like maybe one of our bullpen guys should get our flowers for the pitching staff. Drew Pomeranz, Brad Keller, they've all been playing so well. And I know it's relievers, so there's only 12 or 15 innings to work with here. But, man, there's some guys here with some really scary stuff going on, and they've been the ones that have really held this thing together, while the offense will put up some runs in the 6, 7, 8, 9 spots, and blow, keeping these reliever or keeping these starters in check. So it's good. It's going to be a fun week. Good stuff to talk about.
All right, Matt Shaw. Matt Shaw is smoking hot. Since being called back up, Matt Shaw's tearing it up. It looks real, hitting to all sides of the park. High OPS, consistent quality at bats. Has his approach changed since the first stint? And are we watching the beginning of do the Cubs finally have a long-term anchor at third base? Because I think it's been since Aramis Ramirez?
Oh, man. Oh, my gosh. Maybe. Yeah. Sounds about right. Here, I've got 2 parts to this, because number one, I do owe Matt Shaw an apology. And even Jed too. I mean, this is Jed's call, but I really thought he really had to go back down there for a lot longer. And I said this early on when he first got sent down. We shouldn't see him until the All-Star break. Well, for the last month, he's been tearing it up. So, Matt, I'm sorry. Great job on getting your development done. I know there's plenty more to go, but really, from what they have said and what you've seen, is just a more confident young man. And his defense is stellar right now, Neil. He's very confident. He attacks his angles and he goes to make plays. Whereas before, it was like, maybe that's Dansby's. I don't know. Maybe I should take a half step. He's going to get his ball now, and it's a great thing to watch. So that's there. The only thing I would say right now, Neil, from a hitting standpoint, to keep an eye on is his power development. But you and I both know we've done this at a young youth level and high school level as far as coaching is concerned. And we've said this a lot. Hey, just show me you're a good hitter. Like just be a good hitter. And then when you're a good hitter, we'll teach you how to elevate the baseball. We'll find some power. We'll find that extra 10 feet you need to take that double to a home run. But right now, Matt Shaw is in a hitter's hit mode. And in that mode, he's really just putting all the tool bag on the table. He's saying, look, I can get on base. I can ambush the first pitch if you're going to hang me a curveball. I'm going to steal second. I'm going to put this team in a position that in the 7, 8, 9 hole, which is pretty much where he's going to live for the next year or two, he's going to get really comfortable there just being a menace. And I'm good with a menace at the plate and a glove like that at third. I'll take that all day, every day. So I can't complain about his development or his path right now. He's smoking hot, and I love it.
Yeah, no, I'm exactly on the same page. The only thing I would like to see a little bit better is some situational hitting where, I can't remember if it was the first Philly game or the second Philly game where we had, I think, first and second, or maybe a second and third, I don't know, nobody out, and Shaw comes to the plate, and we don't advance a runner there.
Yeah, you said something about that. I was listening that night and not watching, so I didn't see the fundamental side of it. But yeah, you could see him giving up an out or two. I wouldn't mind that. I guess. Here's my thing: do you feel like he could be the kind of guy that we don't have to worry about this from here on out, even though he doesn't provide you the power numbers at third base right now. Are you okay with that being the case? If his profile is more Nico,
yeah. Are you asking if I would take another Nico? Yes, absolutely. It was the extra inning game. That's what it was. It was the extra inning game. He was the one that came to plate with the ghost runner on second, and I thought, we're the visiting team here. Let's just put one on the board, and
right?
And then Hap comes up to the plate next and literally hits one to the wall.
Sure,
that's caught, but would have
Right.
scored a run.
Right.
So, anyway, situational hitting. That's all. And that's not even a complaint. Like he's a rookie, so that's going to get better. And I couldn't be more pleased with Matt Shaw. All right, man. Moving on. Arms race with the deadline approaching. Which front line starters are on your radar?
Absolutely. Did a little research here for this one. So we're going to keep this short because we are going to talk about other players, and I know you love that. But we'll keep it easy. We'll just go thumbs up or thumbs down for you. You can add your comments if you want, but that's all I need. What we've done here is a little bit of research for 2026 free agents or club option guys. It's a short list of guys that you're probably going to recognize. And these would be probably my short list for Jed to look for a frontline guy. Now, here's what I want. Here's my mentality. You can agree with it, disagree with it, what you want. But if I'm going to give up prospects right now in the Cubs farm system for a frontline guy, I have to be able to trust him to get 15 outs in the NLCS. He's got to go 5. I don't care what else, but we got to be able to trust him to go 5. So that's my short list. So this is how this came about. All right, so here it is. I'm going to just give you the name. You can tell me thumbs up or down, or you can throw a comment in there that you want. Framber Valdez, Houston.
Yeah, ground ball machine, big game experience. I'm all in.
Okay. Max Scherzer, Toronto.
Out. I'm all out. I don't know that he can stay healthy, and I've just never been a fan.
Zach Gallen.
That's personal, by the way. It's not baseball related.
We'll leave that one right there then. You and Max can take that up later. But Zach Gallen, Arizona.
Yeah, I would take him. Yes. Yeah, I'm going to say Zach Gallen, yes.
Okay. Tyler Mahle, Texas.
No. Bounce back candidate, high upside, but I'm still scared.
Okay. Merrill Kelly, Arizona.
Oh, man. Yes, I would take him. Listen, I'll rank them afterwards, but yes, I would take him.
Okay. Chris Sale, last one on the list. Chris Sale, Atlanta.
Yes, lefty, gas, has not afraid to throw at somebody's head. I'll take him.
Okay. All right. If the prospect was the same, if the pool was the same, how would you list those guys if we had to give up the same amount for any of those guys that you were like thumbs up for?
Yeah, so I would say in order for me, it's Framber Valdez, Chris Sale, Merrill Kelly, Zach Gallen. Those are the ones I said yes to. The other I said no to.
Okay. Very nice.
So I'm going to give you, just like you gave me that list. Of that list, I'm going to give you 4 questions.
Okay.
Okay. And this is the list as a whole. Okay. So 4 quick questions, your list as a whole. Each one, you got to pick one. Okay. Who fits this staff best right now?
Okay. Right now, Chris Sale, he's hot. He can chew up a lineup every 5th day for us for the rest of the year.
Who helps this team most in October?
Valdez or Sale.
How much prospect capital are you willing to part with for Valdez or Sale?
It's a limited list. There's a long list of untouchables on this list because here's the deal. Chris Sale is a club option, which probably gets mutually terminated or something like that. So this is a rental. The reason this list is here is because this is a short-term rental. This is no hold strategy. We are a World Series contender right now. So I'm giving up maybe one top 20 prospect and a low guy. That's it.
Yeah, you're still going to have to give up a prospect. I mean, that's
absolutely. I'd say one top 25 prospect and 100 prospect. That's
okay.
It. I can go any deeper. I wouldn't hurt the system for this.
So you may have already answered this, but just circle back around. If you could add, this is the last question. If you could add just one of these guys, which one is your pick?
It's going to be Chris Sale. I'm rooting for the Braves. I'm rooting for the Braves to fade a little bit, that he becomes available. It's a club option scenario where, hey, we could even have him for 26 if he wants to. If that's a vested thing that the Cubs would inherit, Chris Sale's club option for $18 million. Shoot, why not? So
I would like to. The only thing that makes me nervous about Chris Sale is I don't know that Atlanta are sellers,
right?
Even when they're sellers, you know what I mean? Just because they're Atlanta.
Sure.
So
yeah, they're going to put 30,000 in the park all summer long, right? They want to put a product out there. With that lineup, if Robert, if Acuna's healthy, that lineup in any day, any night can put 7 to 10 up on you. And if Chris Sale's going to give you 1 to 2 wins a week, then you're only a couple of guys away. Like Schwellenbach threw a gem on Wednesday. That was, a CG. So I think they're kind of in that wait and see pattern. You're right. Houston is too. That division is easily winnable with Seattle and Texas. So that might be a long 6 weeks to wait for those two guys. I think Atlanta leans a little closer to that edge. But then again, dominating the Brewers on in their series was pretty close. So,
okay, the Cubs can potentially go for a knockout here this weekend or this week, I guess. The Cubs host Pittsburgh and Milwaukee all week long. This could be a knockout punch for the NL Central. They already have the division lead, obviously, but this week they could absolutely bury the division. Pittsburgh's feisty but flawed. Milwaukee's coming in, struggling, still a little dangerous. How important is it to dominate these next two series and avoid a late September grind?
Oh, man, I think this is it. I put this up here early this morning because it kind of hit me. Like, we could knock this division out. Obviously, we could knock the Pirates out tonight, right? Well, not tonight, but, over the weekend, the Pirates could be at that magic 15 to 18 games back, and that's tough. So they're done. Milwaukee's a different story, but I think here's the best part about it. We have so many. We haven't even seen the Cardinals yet, and we could be in a position where they've made up no ground, and we could put the Brewers in a position of very, very long odds just to even be a buyer at the break, right? Because if they're 8 or 9 back, their owners are not going to start spending. So we could get half the division right out of the way in the next 7 days. And so can we KO the division? Man, I think so, because here's the deal. The regression of the Cards is happening in front of our eyes right now. The struggle at home against Toronto. And I think if we put a good couple series together, I think we can put some distance between everybody to the point where this division by the All-Star break is in a really, is in a good position to basically just coast at home, if you will. I don't want to say that word coast, but comfortably match yourself up, get your bullpen positions and your innings managed appropriately for Horton and Ben Brown. There's a lot of things that happen in August and September for a ball club, especially for the younger guys. It's very important to manage those. And so if we can keep Horton a few innings down because we've killed the division, that's fantastic. Do you believe that the momentum that wasn't gained from this road trip is going to be hard to start back up again now that we're back home?
No, I don't. I think there'll be a reset. I really do. I think it's been a long road trip. I think, I was listening to Pat Hughes talk about it on, I don't know what show he was on Marquee or what he was talking, but about how rare these 3-city road trips are these days, how they used to be. It used to be commonplace to have a 3-city road trip, and now you might have 2 a year, and that they are an absolute grind. And that, road trips always start out kind of, there's a pep in everybody's step, and everybody's got their luggage, and everybody's got their, now they all travel with gaming systems and all these things that they travel with and all this stuff. And he said, by the end of it, everybody's just like got this blank stare. Like, right. I want to sleep in my own bed. I want to see my family. I want to, so I think that's real. And some of the old heads are like, oh, come on, these are kids, these are playing, but I think that's real. I do. I think I think they're ready to be home. And I think when they, it's a night game tomorrow, which I don't like night games at Wrigley, but I know that probably makes me weird too. But I love the one, I love Wrigley at 1:20 during the day. But to me, the night game is going to help. It's more time to just be at home, be in your house, get comfortable. And I think they're going to walk in tomorrow and absolutely, I could be way off, but I think they're just absolutely going to take it to Pittsburgh tomorrow night. And all of the last 2 series frustration will be taken out in the first 5 innings.
I would love that because it's been a little bit of a grind, a little grumpy a couple times on this one. But I think, a lot of energy is going to be good for this club. And nothing's no better energy than Wrigley provides, right? Sometimes you do need a source, and coming off of that 9-game road trip, that's a source of energy and power. You're right. Sleeping in your own bed, same deal. But 7:05 under the lights, let's get after it. I'm interested, and everybody's there, lined up and healthy ish. I think we're going to have a really nice week of baseball. And I don't think it matters who's throwing now. I think we're through this part of now. We've seen basically everybody, have we not? I mean, who's left to see in the National League? The Cards, but do they really have any arms that are going to scare us?
No.
I mean, Skeens we've seen, right? We've seen Hunter Green. We don't have any surprises left for the rest of this year. Well, I guess maybe Atlanta, Sale and Schwellenbach maybe, but everybody else we've seen. So, we're here. Summer started. It's gonna be a nice warm summer series at Wrigley, I believe. Is that right? I don't know. I'm staring at clouds here in Texas. It's weird, but hopefully we have a nice one.
It's warm here in Southern Indiana, so I don't know.
There you go.
I would imagine it's getting warmer up there. But yeah, that's it for our show. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. Thanks for spending part of your day with us. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow on all social media platforms at Club 120 Show, or visit us online, www.club120show.com. That's it for us. Enjoy your week. Go Cubs, go.
Go Cubs, go.
This has been Club 120. Neil and Nate have practically spent their entire lives doing something centered around baseball. And with these guys, you're going to get quick-hitting, time-answer segments packed with wit, laughs, and, yes, heated debates. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, you can find us on all social media platforms at Club 120 Show. And, of course, the website at www.club120show.com. Until next time, go Cubs, go!